Okay, so are you ready to like really flex those brain muscles?
Always up for a good mental workout.
Good, because today we are diving deep into Charles F. Haanel's The Master Key System.
Oh, excellent choice.
Yeah, and this book has been crazy influential.
It really has. Like, for real, some heavy hitters have pointed to this book
Yeah, throughout history.
as like a major influence.
Yeah, and you guys sent in a ton of excerpts.
It's a dense one.
So I'm thinking you're ready to unlock some serious potential.
That's what we're here for. You know what's interesting about this book, though? It's over a century old,
Right.
but it's still so incredibly relevant. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's like
Yeah.
he was really onto something with this whole idea of like the power of the mind, right?
Yeah, it's like he tapped into something timeless about being human.
Exactly.
And one of those big ideas he keeps coming back to, is that concept of the world within and without.
Oh, yeah.
That whole like our external reality is kind of a reflection of our internal world.
Absolutely. He was basically saying that, our thoughts and our beliefs, even those like deeper patterns that we're
Right.
not even aware of,
Right.
they're constantly shaping the world around us.
Right.
And he wasn't talking about like magic or anything like that. It was
Yeah.
more about the science of how our minds work.
Right, and how that impacts our experiences.
Mhm.
Like he even compares the subconscious mind to this benevolent stranger working behind the scenes
Yeah.
for our benefit.
I love that analogy. It's so true.
Right. It's vivid.
Yeah.
But if so much of that mental activity is happening beneath the surface, how do we tap into it?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? That's where he gets into this really cool dynamic between the conscious and the subconscious mind.
Okay.
And he even gets into the actual nervous system,
Oh, wow.
talking about the cerebrospinal and sympathetic systems and how they act as these like intricate communication networks between like what we're thinking
Okay.
and our physical experiences.
So it's not just like, think good thoughts and everything will be fine kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's talking about the actual biology
The biology.
that connects our inner and outer reality.
Yeah. And what's even crazier is that he says that less than 10% of our mental processes are actually conscious.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So 90% is happening in the subconscious?
In the background, all the time.
No wonder I feel like I'm on autopilot sometimes.
Right.
That's kind of freaky.
So that means that like 90% is influencing everything.
Wow.
From how we react to things to like how we interpret different events throughout the day.
Hold on. So if only 10% is conscious,
Yeah.
are we basically just running on subconscious programming?
Pretty much, which is why he stresses how important it is to connect our conscious desires
Right.
with those subconscious beliefs.
Oh, interesting.
Because we can want a promotion or a better relationship.
Right.
But if our subconscious is full of self-doubt
Oh, yeah.
or past hurts, it's like slamming on the gas and the brakes at the same time.
It's like our conscious mind is ready to set sail for a tropical island,
Okay, I like that.
but the subconscious has got us anchored to the dock.
Perfect analogy. That's exactly it. And that brings us to another big idea he talks about, the law of attraction.
Oh, yeah.
And this one gets a lot of attention, but it's often like oversimplified.
Total.
He wasn't saying that if you just wish for $1 million, it'll just appear.
Right.
He was talking about the energy
Okay.
and how our thoughts act like magnets.
So it's not just wishful thinking. It's more about our thoughts having like a certain vibrational frequency or something.
Yeah. And then we attract experiences that match that frequency.
Okay, so I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And he uses this really interesting analogy of a child playing with fire
Okay.
to show how dangerous it can be if we don't understand how this works.
Oh.
Like you wouldn't just stick your hand in a fire, right? You have to understand what fire is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's the same with our thoughts.
Because they have consequences,
Yeah.
even if we don't realize it at the time. Man, this is making me rethink my inner critic.
You and me both.
Yes.
Because if we're stuck in those negative thought loops,
Yeah.
always worried about money or relationships,
Oh, yeah.
we're just attracting more of that into our lives.
Yeah.
So instead of focusing on what we don't want,
Right.
we can choose to shift our focus.
To something more positive. That's where visualization comes in, right?
Exactly. He was all about visualization
Oh, cool.
as a way to consciously direct those thoughts and shape our reality.
But he's not talking about like, just daydreaming.
No.
He's talking about like creating this crystal clear picture
Yeah.
in our mind
Engaging all the senses.
of what we want.
Really feeling it.
Like it's already happened.
As if it's real.
Right.
And you know why? because our subconscious minds,
Okay.
they don't actually know the difference.
Between what's real and what we're just imagining.
Exactly. So the more real we can make those visualizations feel, the more we're shifting our energy
Oh, interesting.
and aligning with the things we want to attract.
It's kind of like when you get sucked into a really good movie,
Totally.
Like, it's not real,
Yeah.
but you still feel your heart racing during the chase scene
Yeah.
where you find yourself tearing up at the
Yeah.
emotional parts.
It's so true.
Like, our subconscious mind just believes it, even though we made it all up.
Exactly. And Haanel was saying that this whole visualization thing, it's not just some like fun mental exercise.
It's actually like key to unlocking our full potential
It is.
in every area.
Absolutely. Career, relationships, health, you name it.
Okay, so we've got this awesome power to visualize.
We do.
And we know that our thoughts are like magnets, attracting similar energy.
It's true.
But then Haanel hits us with this whole other concept.
He does.
This whole idea that we can't just be focused on getting what we want.
It's not just about taking.
We also have to be focused on giving.
Right. We've got to give back. And that's where this idea of abundance consciousness comes into play.
Abundance consciousness.
It's not just about believing there's enough to go around.
It's about embodying it.
Living it.
In everything we do.
And Haanel said that if we're coming from that place of scarcity,
Always worried about not having enough.
yeah, if we're focused on lack,
We actually block abundance from coming in.
we block the flow. It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. If we are so focused on what we don't have,
Right.
we're starting from a place of emptiness, and nothing really grows from that.
Okay, so how do we fill our cups? How do we get out of that scarcity mindset?
Well, and Haanel was a big believer that this giving thing, it's not just about giving stuff away.
It's about way more than that.
It's about giving our thoughts,
Oh, interesting.
our time, our energy, our willingness to help other people pursue their dreams.
He even says that trying to get without giving.
Yeah.
It always backfires because of this thing he calls the law of compensation. Like, the universe always tries to balance things out.
Exactly, like a cosmic balancing act.
So it's not about being, like, altruistic for the sake of it.
No, not at all.
It's understanding that true abundance
Yes.
comes from being generous
And contributing.
and sharing with others.
Exactly. He's not saying we should be pushovers,
Right.
or give till we're totally spent.
Yeah, that doesn't help anybody.
But it's about asking ourselves,
Okay.
am I holding myself back by not being open to giving?
Okay.
Am I afraid of not having enough?
It's more about asking, how can I be of service, rather than what's in it for me?
Exactly. You got it.
And that just creates a whole different energy.
It does. A totally different vibe.
It allows us to receive
Yes.
in ways we probably can't even imagine right now.
It's so true. And it connects us to something bigger.
Bigger than ourselves.
It does. And speaking of something bigger, have we talked about his concept of the mastermind?
Oh, yeah. He mentions that a few times in the book.
Yeah, it's not just about brainstorming with your friends.
It's deeper than that.
Oh, yeah. Way deeper. Haanel believed that when people come together
Okay.
in total harmony, focused on one goal,
Yeah.
and fueled by that spirit of cooperation, they tap into this power
Oh, wow.
that's way bigger than them as individuals.
So it's not just like 1 + 1 = 2. It's like
Exponential.
1 + 1 = something way bigger.
Exactly. It's like this synergy.
And that's the mastermind in action.
It is. Think about it. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in history,
Okay.
the scientific discoveries, the amazing art,
Yeah.
the movements that changed the world, they all came from groups of people
Okay.
coming together with a shared vision. That's the mastermind at work.
It makes you wonder what we could do if we were more intentional about that in our own lives.
Right. Imagine the possibilities.
But how do we actually create a mastermind? Like, does Haanel give us any steps?
Oh, he does. He lays out some key things to think about. Like, first of all, you got to have a clear purpose. What are you guys all about?
Makes sense.
And then you want to choose people who vibe with that purpose.
So it's not just about finding people with the same skills.
No, not at all. It's about finding your people.
Okay.
People on a similar wavelength.
Who have your back, right?
Exactly. People who are committed to growing
Yeah.
and who want to help each other be their best selves.
And he also talks about the importance of keeping things positive.
Absolutely. Because negativity,
Yeah.
gossip, competition,
Yeah.
that stuff will totally kill the vibe.
So it's about surrounding ourselves with people who lift us up.
Exactly. And creating a space where everyone feels supported and encouraged.
Man, when you really break it down,
Yeah.
it's amazing how much our relationships impact our ability to grow.
It's huge. And it goes back to what we were saying before.
About energy.
Exactly. The energy we bring to our relationships.
Can literally make or break us.
It's true. And the quality of those connections.
Really determines what we can achieve.
It's true.
Wow, this is making me want to take a serious look at my own relationships.
You and me both. It's a constant work in progress.
It is.
Uh,
It's like we're not really supposed to do any of this alone.
You're not. We're meant to connect,
Support each other.
lift each other up.
Exactly. And that actually reminds me of something else Haanel talks about. This idea that all this stuff, all this master key system stuff,
Yeah.
it's not just for us.
It's bigger than us.
Right. It's like he's saying, okay, you figured out how to unlock your own potential.
Yeah.
Now go use it to make the world better.
Exactly. He was big on social responsibility.
Yeah, it's like that's the next step.
It is using what we learn to make a difference.
And that's where right thinking comes in.
Okay, I like that. Right thinking.
He's not just talking about positive thinking
Yay.
for our own benefit, though.
Right.
It's about aligning our thoughts with something much bigger.
He calls it the principle of harmony.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like we're all connected, right?
We're all part of this giant web of life.
Exactly.
And every thought, every action,
It ripples out.
it affects everyone.
Yeah, it's about realizing that we're all in this together.
Totally. And that our thoughts are actually creative.
They are.
So if we're constantly in that negative headspace,
Fear, worry, all that
we're adding to it.
in the collective consciousness. Yeah, it's like we're all putting our energy into this big pot.
Okay.
And if we're putting in fear and negativity, that's the soup we're all swimming in.
That's a scary soup.
Right. But if we can choose to focus on love, compassion.
Believing in each other, right.
Exactly. That changes the whole recipe.
We raise the vibration for everyone.
Yes. Exactly. It's like we each have these tuning forks.
Okay.
And when we vibrate at a higher frequency,
Kindness, generosity, all that.
the whole planet feels it. Pretty amazing when you think about it.
So how do we do that? How do we make sure our tuning forks are, like, calibrated correctly?
Well, Haanel talks about this thing called daily reflection.
Okay.
Basically, take some time every day to think about how you showed up.
Like a self-check-in.
Exactly. Ask yourself, was I kind today? Was I compassionate? Did I show up with integrity? Did I do something good?
So we're holding ourselves accountable even in the small moments.
In the tiny ones, because they all add up.
It's about noticing, like, did I judge someone too quickly? Did I gossip? Or did I give someone the benefit of the doubt?
Exactly. And it's not about beating ourselves up if we mess up.
We all mess up.
We do.
Yeah.
It's about creating that space to notice.
So we can make a different choice next time.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because even the smallest changes,
Can have a ripple effect.
they really can. It's like that saying, be the change you want to see. It starts with us.
Love that. So to wrap things up,
Yeah.
it seems like Haanel was really onto something with this idea that we're all connected
We are.
and that as we grow,
Mhm.
we help everyone else rise up too.
It's not just about us.
Right. It's about something much, much bigger.
And it's a journey
It is,
with ups and downs, for sure.
definitely. But
It's
ultimately,
about becoming the best versions of ourselves.
and using that to make the world a little brighter. On that note, I think we've done enough brain flexing for one day.
My brain could use a break.
But remember, you've got this incredible power within you, and it's up to you to use it.
Go out there and make some magic happen.
Until next time.